I'm Heather Butler. I'm the town administrator. I've been here for 5 whole months. So when I was familiarizing myself with the town of West Boylston, I binged watched select board meetings, one after the other. They become a little routine until I came across the select board meeting in which this project was introduced and the slideshow and the PowerPoint. Believe it or not, it was riveting and such a nice break from your appointments and your minutes and all of the other things. And I really took such an interest in this project and just want to thank those involved for getting the work done in a timely and professional and just really first-rate professional manner. It means a lot to the town when our partners respect and understand the impact that they have, and we appreciate that so much. I'd like to, in addition to welcoming you all, I'd like to welcome Secretary Tepper. Hi there, how are you? Thank you for coming. I bet you have some much more insightful and important things to say, so I welcome you up and enjoy the breeze. It's coming in across the dam. Take good care.
Enjoy the job. I don't know whether insightful would go all the way to insightful, but I'm happy to be here. I was here, we were just talking maybe a little over a year ago when we did the ribbon cutting to start the project. And I remember Fred telling me how it was going to work, and I kind of, like, it's hard to picture if you don't actually have it. And now I see what he was talking about, and it looks terrific. We're just really excited about this project and this restoration project, and to officially cut the ribbon today on a cleaner and safer and more functional river system. You know, this project has been a true team effort, and in my world, a very true interagency effort. And so I want to thank some of the people who worked hard on this project, and some are here and some aren't, but Undersecretary Cooper, MWRA Fred Lasky, Tom O'Shea, Commissioner O'Shea, Commissioner LaChapelle, who was unable to be with us today, and I know, is Beth here? Where is she? There, and Beth Lambert. Thank you so much, Beth. So, you know, with this dam removed, this is going to be the first time in over 120 years that water from the Wachusett Reservoir is flowing freely. That's a big deal. It's not just for the river, but for the fish that can finally return to upstream habitat and for the overall health of the landscape around it. These kind of projects check a lot of boxes. They improve water quality, reduce flood risk, support wildlife, and create places where people can hike, fish, or paddle. This is especially important right now as we're seeing more extreme weather, more flooding, longer droughts, and more pressure on aging infrastructure across the state. Massachusetts has about 3,000 dams, and more than 200 of them are in poor condition. This one, like the one removed here, many of them are like the one here, are over a century old. And if they fail, neighborhoods could flood and putting people and property at risk. And that's why the governor has proposed the Mass Ready Act this summer, a bill to help remove outdated, unsafe dams before they become a problem, and to make smart, forward-thinking investments in infrastructure that will hold up over time. We're also making sure that the restored places like these are accessible to everyone of all abilities to use and enjoy. So thank you all who made this happen. Really appreciate it. It's a great example of how we can solve multiple problems at once and make real lasting improvements for communities across the state. So I have the pleasure of introducing Fred Lasky, who I have known for many years, and many of you know, who is the leader of the MWRA and has been a champion of this project since the very beginning. I remember hearing about it from the very beginning, so thank you, Fred.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. It's a wonderful day and a lot to be proud of. And one of the things I want to be careful is that I don't just repeat the same thing, we also have others after me. But I would like to reflect for a minute on the staff who worked on this, the consultants, the engineering firm, the construction firm, MWA staff, DCR staff, all the staff, Fish and Wildlife, everyone worked together to make this happen. And there was some stress. There were some times when I think we had some heated moments, but it all came out perfectly well and came out as a great product. One group I would like to recognize, because we have 4 other members here today, is the MWA Board of Directors. And I've got Andy Pepper-Sturgeon, Lou Traverna, Jennifer Wallowitz, and the Secretary. So give us a hand to the MWA Board of Directors, please. Similarly, my hat goes off to the DCR folks, and I don't have all the names here, but I know I saw John Scannell and others here representing DCR. And I just offer this in the most constructive of ways, how sweet it is that we get now as 2 or 3 agencies can work together to pull this off. That wouldn't have been possible many years back when both agencies were not kissing cousins, so to speak. But it's worked and worked well. The project itself, I would like to introduce someone who's one of the all-time greats and was very instrumental early on, some 10 years ago, Wayne McCallum, the former head of Fish and Wildlife. There he is over there, Wayne. And if the truth be known about our scheming to get votes on the board and taking people to see bears and all of you laughing, anyway, we did it, and collectively as a group. What is the project all about? It's about restoring nature to nature's being. And you know, the dam was a magnificent piece of engineering, construction, and really was a magnificent dam, but it changed the flow of nature. And what we've done here today is restored that, and so we're now getting the natural flow into this river, which opens up miles of stream upstream for fishing and beautiful recreational area, a fishing area over there. On the other side, we have the walkway down for the Mass Rail Trail. So this is a huge development, kind of as a side piece that we're going to now have the public come down along the rail trail, drop down, and be right on the side of the river as this goes along. And it's our understanding that it's heavily used already and people are very popular. I don't want to go on too long. Well, why don't I say this? I would just again, because I can't do it enough, repeat and thank all the staff from all the agencies that worked on this. It's something that I'm very proud of. I guess, you know, when I think about it, I got here in 2001, and this was one of the first projects that came onto my radar screen. You know, some would say, well, it took a long time, you could have done it faster. Well, that doesn't matter because we did it, and we did it in a great, great way so we can all enjoy this. So with that, my next important thing to do is to recognize Tom O'Shea. You talk about a guy who's naturally suited for the job that he has. It's like it was made for him. So anyway, Tom, you're up.
Well, thank you very much, Fred. That was really nice to say. I have to say I do enjoy my job a lot, and it's because we get to do things like this, right? I mean, this is such a great day, early fall, September. Yes, we have to wear our coats, but it's not blazing hot, and we're here essentially celebrating after 20 years of collaboration, hard work, and here we are. And I get to enjoy these kinds of things. Even though I wasn't really a part of it, I can help celebrate with all of you. And in fact, I'll just say that I know a few of the people like Fred and Wayne, and I think Director Martisa, that were walking this over 20 years ago with the idea that wouldn't it be great if we had landlocked salmon be able to go upstream and spawn for the first time in, you know, how many, I don't know how long, you know, for as long as that the reservoir was made. So this was, it's just great to see these projects come about. And I will say, and I think some of you have heard me say before, restoration projects are like endurance sports. You have to pace yourself, you have to use that hard determination that you're gonna see the end, and we do this. And I will say another thing, that our partners are great collaborators, and I just want to say Secretary Tepper really supports us across the EEA agencies to be collaborators, and I think it's a great team, and it's really great to be a part of this team to see these things come to fruition. So I want to thank Secretary Tepper, our MWRA hosts, thank you very much. And Fred, yourself, you've always been a good partner for us. And I certainly want to recognize DCR Commissioner LaChapelle, who I know couldn't be here, but she's just arrived, and we're really looking forward to continuing our partnership with DCR. Our state legislators who make a lot of these projects possible, and our local leaders who are partners with us all along. Great to see these things happen in our backyard. I do want to recognize our talented DFG team, and in particular, just show of hands from the DFG team and DER in particular. I know, just a round of applause. They are the people that help make these things happen on the ground. Particularly, I want to recognize again Director Beth Lambert from DER. And our Mass Wildlife folks who've been here, and I'll talk a little bit about their work in this as well, but DER was really helpful in providing technical assistance, funding, permitting support, all the real nuts and bolts that make these projects come together and carry it across the finish line. So here we are today for the first time in over 120 years, and I will tell you for myself, I live in Holden, and I regularly come down here with my son down the rail trail. Lots of people, as Fred said, it's super popular. And it's just so incredible. If you live near Worcester and to have something 3 miles of river up here, and salmon are going to be coming up at some point. I'm waiting to see this fall when they come in for migration. But this is just a special place. And we've made it even more special. So I'll just tell you that it personally, I love seeing this. You know, the MWRA's Quinapoxet Dam that was here was like many of our 3,000 dams across the state. It's long outlived its original purpose, and it was great to see that in 2013, MWRA stepped up to make it a project, a priority. So we applaud you for your leadership. They recognized a real opportunity here to transform what could be a public safety hazard and liability with stronger storms, and they turned it into what is a thriving restored river, making our communities safer, improving habitat for fish and wildlife, and creating new outdoor recreational opportunities. So in 2014, that's when DER really got on the scene. I think this was a priority project. They have these priority projects throughout the state with partners, and they just contributed countless hours of technical assistance, and including $156,000 towards construction. The Mass Wildlife team, they also have helped out. So since last September, they have been moving freshwater mussels to avoid impacts to them during the construction. So they relocated 1,600 eastern pearl shell mussels upstream from here, up that way. And that's a lot of work, that's a lot of effort, but that shows the care and attention that we give to these projects. And they collected a lot of vital data. They will continue to monitor the results of this work on the habitat. And the other piece, and I don't want to overlook this because this is something that our agency is involved in, which is providing access for all people, particularly access for people with limited mobility. And there is meaningful access now provided with this fishing pier that I think we're going to see later. And so the ADA compliant pathway and then the fishing pier are just really, really huge to have. So kudos to everybody to make that possible. And then lastly, I can't help but mentioning this, and I'm sure Secretary's like, you know, this is my thing, but the biodiversity goals for the Commonwealth were announced 2 weeks ago. Secretary Tepper, Governor Healey, on behalf of the whole administration, announced our nation-leading biodiversity goals, and we are setting targets to restore 30% of our most habitats by 2030, 75% by 2050, and we want to remove 10% of our defunct dams by 2050. And this is a shining example, the kind of projects that we want to accelerate and double the pace of over the next 25 years. And by the way, 25 years, as we can tell, this is what it takes to get some of these projects to fruition. So it's really meaningful work. And again, I just want to say that I want to paint a picture that someday we're going to see salmon coming up this river, and I think that's going to be really a wonderful thing for us today and future generations to see, and it'll be a benefit for the community and all of us. So I just want to congratulate everybody involved in it and thank all of you for being here today to make this a reality.
Sorry for looking so old, but I'm recovering from a hip replacement, and it kind of tightens up sometimes. So I got to stay loose. But in closing, because I think I'm now supposed to close, is there someone? Okay. In closing, I think that it's important that we reflect back to the notion of why we're here, and it's the stewardship of this water body, and the Wachusett and the Quabbin, and I think all the parties, whether it be MWA, the Secretary's office, the fish folks, have all taken a broader view of what our responsibility is as stewards of these watersheds. And whether it dates back to the big hydro, the project we did down at Quabbin to allow the water to flow via gravity and to increase the amount of water into the fish hatcheries, and again, a very, very important, significant upgrade to the water systems that wasn't required by anyone. There was no court order or anything. It was just the right thing to do. And I think that's important when you have that leadership at the top. The right thing to do, the Secretary, it's the right thing to do. And we've done it, and we'll continue to do it. Land preservation, the whole picture will continue in a very aggressive way. We encourage the new DCR commissioner, has a lot of experience in open space and those type issues, which will play right into the strength of the group here. So with that, I think what I'm supposed to do, I thought Beth Lambert was going to say a few words. Is she not speaking? No? You want to say a few words? You're usually very inspirational. It's a nice way to...
Morning, everyone. This is the first time I've ever been introduced as usually inspirational.
Pressure's on.
Pressure's on, he says. So I have two things I want to say. The first one is that the easiest thing to do with a dam is to leave it exactly the way it is. And so MWRA really showed leadership here, because the easiest thing was just to leave that dam where it was. Instead, they embarked on a very challenging, highly complex dam removal project. I don't know if you know this, but this is actually one of the most complex dam removal sites in the entire state of Massachusetts. You've got a drinking water reservoir downstream. You've got an aqueduct channeling water from the Quabbin right at the site of the dam. You've got landlocked salmon. And you've got a dam that a lot of people saw as pretty and beautiful. And so dam removal is something that the administration, that our division prioritizes for communities. But when a state agency steps up to do that work themselves, it's really setting an example and showing what can be done. So I'm super appreciative for MWRA for really demonstrating to the rest of the state not only that dam removal can be done, but that it can be done in such a way that you bring recreation benefits, you bring public safety benefits, you bring climate resilience benefits, and most importantly, the river can flow freely again. So huge appreciation and kudos to MWRA. And then the second thing I want to do is just simply acknowledge DER's dam removal team. We have a multi-person dam removal team. We work with communities and landowners around the state to remove dams. The vast majority of dam owners don't actually want their dams. And with a little bit of assistance and funding, those dams are coming down, and our rivers and our communities are benefiting. So I'd like to point out some of our DER staff. Joe, can you raise your hand? Joe was DER's point person working with MWRA on this project. We have Kristen Ferry. Kristen oversees all of our habitat restoration work. We've got our communications specialist here. Krista, where are you? There she is in the back. So thank you to the DER team for continuing to advance these projects. And thank you to all of you here today.